Good morning. Good morning. Happy rising. Um, my name is Cooper Seeley. Clearly, I need some coffee because it's tea time. Have you got your tea? Do you have your tea? You're equipped with your tea. I'm missing my tea. I'm gonna have to bring my tea tomorrow. But we can bring all the tea. My name is Cooper Seeley, and I'm co-lead programmer for Translations Film Festival.
Hello, my name is MJ Harrop, and I'm also a co-lead programmer for the Translations Film Festival.
We are so excited about the beginning moments of the film festival from last night and all the way through for the next 3 days, 3 wonderful days of incredible film that we get to bring to you. It's a deep honor and privilege. Before we get started, let's honor the ancestors and acknowledge the land on which we live. We live on the land of the Coast Salish and Duwamish peoples, live and ancestral, without whom we would not be able to do this work and enjoy all that we have. So we owe them debts of honor and debts of reparation. If you go to Real Rent, then in fact you'll be able to put your money where your mouth is, and we can actively work on reparations for First Nations all across. Don't we have a guest, MJ? Don't we have a guest?
Dude, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Cooper. Hi, MJ. Hi,
welcome, welcome.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day to everyone and across the queer universe. Welcome to Translations Film Festival. I'm here with Tofu. They use they/them pronouns. They're absolutely pansexual. Oh. Absolutely, yes. They are a charmer. Hi, everyone. I've got my tea. I'm ready.
Yeah,
you're ready.
Well, I want to give you a proper introduction, actually.
Oh,
hello.
I'll freeze.
Not that. I mean, I'm sure it is a global audience, so everyone will know who you are, because your fame is far and wide. But we are just so proud of you as a Seattleite and someone who is known for your sassy and engaging on-stage presence as a performer, host, MC extraordinaire, and equally important for your activism, for your public service, for your founding Pride Asia. We are just so thrilled to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I am equally and mutually thrilled to be part of $3 Bill Cinema's presentation again of Translations, honoring the histories and the narratives and the stories of trans and non-binary and genderqueer people through cinema. So I thank you for sharing safe space, virtual space with all of us. I just saw Kathleen say hello. Hi, Kathleen.
Absolutely. And thank you also so much for your ongoing support of Translations and $3 Bill. We love working with you, and you always elevate the room, whether it's virtual or in person.
You bring the shine, girl. You bring the shine.
Well, it's shared sunshine. It's shared sunshine, particularly for Seattle. We got to bring the sunshine in here. We have to today.
And happy Asian History Month. What?
Yes, thank you. Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes. Happy Asian American Pacific Islander American History Month. We celebrate this throughout May. And I'll take this advantage now to invite everyone for our Pride Asia Fest happening May 30th. It's all online. We're still, honestly, we're still a
Nice.
little scared. We want to be sensitive as well to
Yeah.
our community, and we don't want to risk it, right? So we're still
Right.
going to do it virtual, much like we're doing it today. It'll be on May
Mhm.
30th at 12 noon. All the details, and it's free and it's all ages. It's just on prideasia.org. But May allows us to really honor and recognize the contributions of Asian Americans, Pacific Islander Americans, to the landscape and the story and history of all Americans, but also recognize that we are also immigrants to this beautiful land, particularly here in Seattle, Duwamish land, Coast Salish, of people past and present that we continue to share space with. And I hope that we continue to honor them. We have many resources that Cooper already shared through Real Rent Duwamish. I've got one right here. I try to make my background informative as well. But anyhow, so Pride Asia, we take this Pride Asia Fest as an opportunity to remind us of this celebration, but at the same time, recognize and to kick off LGBTQ plus Pride the following month in
Oh,
June. Yeah,
nice.
so we try to recognize
Nice.
the intersectionalities of our identities, being LGBTQ plus, but also being API plus folks here
Right.
in the community. So thank you for bringing that up. I salute you and I thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing all of that. That's wonderful. Okay, so say the tag name again. It's
Org. Yeah, it's pretty easy. So I
org.
think
Prideasia.org. There it is. There it is.
yeah. And for folks that are
Yes.
maybe not as familiar, Pride Asia was founded in 2012. Our mission is to celebrate, empower, and nurture the multicultural diversity of the LGBTQ plus communities through the Asian Pacific Islander lens. And I hope I'm preaching to the choir that we all know what LGBTQ plus means, but just in case, lesbian,
Yeah.
gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, even questioning, plus intersex, non-binary, genderqueer, everybody and anyone that promotes self-love and love of community.
Mm,
Mm.
yes. Ashe, Ashe, girl. Yes.
That's the T. This is not a prop. It's actually a little too hot. So I'm keeping my composure.
Don't hurt yourself over there with that tea. Don't get the tea too hot now. Speaking of tea, we got stuff to spill. Mocha, you knocked it out last night. What? I
Oh,
don't. I hope people were able to be part of a conversation that Mocha had with. Well, you know what, Mocha? I'll let you describe it. I'll let you describe
yeah. Okay, thanks. Um, yeah, I had a really great time, opening the festival with our opening night film, No Ordinary Man, which is an incredible documentary
it. Yeah.
about Billy Tipton, the jazz musician, transgender man. Um, and it's just this really interesting documentary. It combines fiction with nonfiction, and you've got so many wonderful people on it in the film. And we were blessed to have Stephen Pennington and the co-directors Ashling Chin Yi and Chase Joint and the
Yes.
writer Amos Mack, and I mean, like the cherry on the cake. What's the metaphor? Anyway, Jameson Green, who
Oh
is like,
yes.
"Ah!"
What?
Can you hear the music? "Ah!" Who is just a trans legend, activist. And since this is tea time, I'll just spill a little tea. I'll share a little tea. One of the joys of the evening, which if you watch the Q&A, you wouldn't have seen this because this happened after we stopped streaming.
Mm.
But I got to witness the most endearing fanboy moment between Stephen Pennington and Jameson Green, who Stephen was just like, "You're Jameson Green. No, you're Jameson Green. But you're Jameson Green." And it was just like, it was just so endearing, because Stefan, of course, is a really accomplished person, and is just so like talented and charming and brilliant in their own right. And then to see them fanboy out, for Jameson.
Right.
I mean, and I get it, like I can probably hold my shit too. It's like, oh my god, this is good. Like be professional, kind of.
Keep calm. Keep calm.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Yes.
it was super
No.
fun. It was great.
Yeah. You looked like you were having a great time. It was so informative. The questions were amazing. The conversation was really engaging. really like so well done. And I can't believe how like that film, I'm still going revisiting parts of the film, right? And the sort of moments where they're slipping between fiction and nonfiction. It's because it's a documentary about, but it's a documentary revisits the life of Billy Tipton in a completely different way than it had been recorded up to this point. Um, it's such a unique way of pulling together a documentary film and
Yeah.
really digging into a history that is left both solid and ambiguous, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, really well done, beautifully done.
Yeah, and just featuring such a great cast,
Yeah,
Marquise Wilson, Alex Blue Davis, who I don't know if you know, is the trans doctor in Grey's Anatomy, Ryan Casada, Scott Turner Schofield, and just on and on. Kate Bornstein. I mean, it's
right.
like, oh my God, it would take less time to mention who isn't in the documentary. It
Because it's
was
very
incredible.
legendary. It's very legendary. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's rife with legendary. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But it interestingly enough, it overlaps. I think a lot of the themes about kind of trying to find a sense of being and identity or language that isn't stultifying, that doesn't oppress, that isn't, a totalizing quest, as Chinchi Minha would say, overlaps actually with one of the films that we are fortunate enough to have the director here to talk about. So I wanted to bring on Lear Casper, who is the director of Rotten Fruit, that has some really interesting overlaps there. Hi, Lear.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So good to have you. Your audio is a little low. I wonder if you can get
Can you
closer
up
to
it a
that
bit?
mic.
I don't know
Yes.
really where my mic is. Can you hear me more if
Let's
I just
see.
speak louder?
They're doing a mic volume beta testing on here. So I just boosted your audio. Let's see how that works.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Oh,
much better.
Much better. Okay, cool.
Yeah. We want to hear all the great things you have to say. Well, welcome to Translations, Lear.
Thank you.
And I should also say welcome to Seattle, because I know you recently moved here from Portland.
oh,
Yeah, I was
nice.
from Seattle
Woohoo!
initially, but Portland for a few years and then came back right at the beginning of the pandemic unexpectedly. I'm kind of settling back in here for at least the time being.
Nice,
So glad to
nice.
have you.
Welcome, welcome, welcome,
Thank you.
welcome.
Yeah. So I wonder if have you gotten a chance to see No Ordinary Man by any chance?
I have not. I was really looking forward to it. I haven't yet had a chance to actually see anything in
You're
the
gonna love
festival.
it.
Today was my day for setting aside for that. So I'm very excited to.
No, you're gonna love it. But I was thinking about one of the quotes in your film. Identity is a prison. They will always have a name for us.
Mhm,
And it's like, yeah,
mhm,
and it's
mhm.
like, there's an interesting tension there, right? Because on the one hand, we have to fight for we're out there fighting for Billy Tipton's legacy. Be like, his identity is a man, period. That's it.
Period.
Conversation done. But then also, which I think your film explores, this idea of, keeping the names open, keeping the definitions open, keeping the possibilities open, keeping it, because once you name it, you limit experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I think where I was coming from a lot with that was kind of the experience of not really feeling like my own identity was necessarily something totally coming from within myself, so much as a response to the world around me and the response to the ways that gender is structured around, just in such a binary way in general, because those are really the only options societally. So
Mhm.
falling anywhere outside of that kind of feels, at least to me, more like a reaction against those. And like the way I position myself with gender is more in relation to those, as opposed to like something that I feel is very inherent to me in a way. I mean, I feel like it is inherent to me because I'm within this context, but it's something that I wouldn't necessarily. I don't. I always say like I feel like some people have more gender like more like connection to like a specific gender. I think especially maybe it's easier. I personally can't speak from this experience, but for some binary trans people, feeling more just wanting to like read as their gender and that's it. I feel like I feel more trans than a gender rather than the other way around.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Between water and wine, I think is
Yeah.
what he says in the movie.
Yeah. Well,
Although
isn't
I'm
that
kind
the
of taking a
beauty
little
of
bit out of
language
context.
too? That's the beauty of language. And that quote from your feature film, that's really strikes me as well. But isn't that also the sort of the tragedy and triumph of what we're fighting for? Here we are. We talk about identity in so many at so many levels: political, social, personal. But the antithesis of identity also then becomes the limitation. The moment we name it, we proclaim it, it becomes our enemy. But it's
Yeah.
this, oftentimes it's the experience of the othering. It's other people's issues. It's often
Right.
not about this internal, yes, there is that internal struggle, but there's also that external factor that we cannot leave out of the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just time and again. And with the opening feature film, No Ordinary Man, we're talking about someone who has gone and passed, but who has left us a legacy. But their story, his story, is absolutely very present. It is so the here and now for so many people, right?
Yes.
And the
Yeah.
shame, the stigma, it's the same. And it's so unfortunate. I was listening to his wife, and we really don't know so much about her still, right? What was that about? I felt pain. I felt anger, the denial, the presumably denial, right? And when I
Mhm,
was looking at
mhm,
the photos of the family, the
mhm.
two other children were blurred out,
Completely blurred out.
but the
Mhm,
junior,
Yeah.
and it was so, I'm getting goosebumps right now. It was so
mhm.
beautiful to see Junior from then being featured on Sally Jesse Raphael, and his experience
Right.
upon Billy's passing in his arms, to now him as an old man and circling back with Billy's descendants basically in our
Mhm,
world, and coming to his home
mhm,
and telling him how a spectacular human being his father was and is. That was such
mhm,
a full circle moment for me, and
mhm,
that was just so
mhm.
beautiful. But yeah, this idea of a prison in our identity, here we are, we triumph over our own, we come out, we come forward, and then there's still the othering. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a mixed bag, But
yeah.
one of the steps that Lear takes in the film Rotten Fruit is to, you know, put identity and naming in the background and put the body and experience in the
In the
foreground.
foreground.
And another great quote, Lear, from your film: "What is a body but a moment in time?"
Mm.
Are you one of those people that is like um sagacious beyond your years?
Maybe so. Hard to say. I don't know that I would know, but
They're a
It's like
poet, so
right. Oh, okay, that makes huge sense.
they're able to say in language what you shouldn't be able to say in language.
I will say that uh, that I turn to other languages to collect pronouns that are neutral, that are more trans than they are located, because I experience myself in very similar ways, right? But it's also like the idea that you're looking at a color and you're saying, okay, this is pink, this is blue, this is red, this is, but we all know that we see that just a little bit differently,
yeah.
and that's the exciting part of it, that 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 even if you name, okay, blue or right or whatever, that we're always going to come with a certain shade in mind, with a different shade in mind.
Mhm.
We have another guest to bring on. I'm
Okay.
very excited to bring on Felipe
Hi
Guerra.
everyone.
How
Hi
are
everyone.
Hi,
you?
Felipe.
How you
So good to
doing?
see you.
I'm great. I'm great. Talking from Rio. Nice to see everyone here.
Oh, welcome, welcome.
What time is it in Rio? Oh, I think it's not that.
It's not really far. I mean, it's afternoon. It's 14 o'clock. I mean, 2 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, great. So you're just waking up.
Yeah, exactly. Just a normal day. Just woke up.
Oh, it's so good to see you. I want to tell everyone about your film, Gabby, which we have in our Fuck Fascism program. And it's just a really beautiful portrait about a, well, she's trans-identified, but also non-binary identified woman, Gabby, who's in the fashion industry, and it combines animation to give us a really interesting portrait of her. And I hope that you appreciate our programming, putting it in the Fuck Fascism program, because, you know, it's not exactly a walk in the park in Brazil right now. And I just want to say we're seeing some incredible trans resilience, you know, in the form of filmmaking and activism. And it's such an honor to have you with us.
Oh, thank you so much. I really enjoyed that I was put in the Fuck Fascism program. I was actually a bit surprised, but once again, you're right. I mean, Brazil we have all been coping with some really violence coming from all sides, from the population. I mean, the president and everyone. And I couldn't be more happy and thrilled to be in this festival alongside with Valentina as well, which is also a great film that I'm really, really eager to watch. I think it is going to be great. And so Brazilian has some really nice productions coming along. So that's making me really happy.
Yeah, and we're also showing My Name is Baghdad. I keep calling it Call Me Baghdad, but it's My Name is Baghdad.
Yes,
which is another fantastic Brazilian film.
Yeah,
so the production coming out of Brazil, I mean, every year for the last at least 3 years, or if not more, we've had some really great. Like, there seems to be some. Is there something? Can you feel it? Is there something percolating there around production focused on trans bodies, trans identities?
Yeah. I think that's actually something that's not unique to Brazil. I think whenever anywhere in the world there is some sort of violence coming from authority, some sort of silence that they're trying to impose on trans people, on LGBTQI plus people, whenever some such thing happens, I think it actually escalates our need to speak up. And that's why I think more and more productions come along, because this need of showing ourselves and helping each other to portray our stories and help it get to the people here, because most of the people in Brazil have been tricked to believe that violence is the only solution. So that's why I think more and more productions need to come along, and more.
And isn't that the power of cinema and film? And that's why film festivals that feature the narratives of marginalized groups, particularly with translations, this is why we make film. This is why we watch it. It's the voice of the people.
Right.
You know, we become inspired by it, but we also are reminded that there are people like all of us, you know, that deserve equality and equity, love and respect. That's beautiful. I wanted to add, you know, as a Roman Catholic drag queen, it's very challenging for me to say the F word. But Felipe, when you say the F fascism, I don't know why, but you just make it so romantic. Obrigado.
My Brazilian accent, maybe. I don't know.
Obrigado.
Ooh, Felipe, careful. She's about to spill some more tea. Just saying,
I'll
girl.
be quiet now.
Oh my god! My boyfriend is watching. Everyone, watch out!
He's all the way in Brazil, you know.
Oh my god!
Airfare is cheap right now. Airfare is cheap. I pack light. Just lip gloss and some face powder.
Instant glam. Instant glam. You said your boyfriend is watching.
Yeah.
Nice. So are you able to, I don't know, because we're geolocated to the United States. but are you going to be able to access some of the work? Like you said, you were looking forward to
Yeah,
watching Valentina.
yeah. I mean, it's all set up. I haven't, just
Oh,
like
good.
Lear, I haven't seen anything yet, but I already got
Okay,
my passes, and today is gonna be the day,
good.
especially this weekend. I mean, it's all about the movies. I watch everything. I've watched Rotten Fruit actually. It's really, really good. I mean, I
Thank
loved
you.
it.
Isn't
It's
it
really
brilliant?
good. Really great.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I
yeah.
mean, the collage that you made, I mean, not only images, but sounds. It's also, I mean, it's really spectacular, really
Thank you.
powerful.
I really love your sound edit at the end, Lear, with the
Yeah.
yeah. Lear takes these old, audios from like those instructional videos about,
Oh,
hormones and how, and these hormones will soon, and it's like really effortless. It's like you don't even notice there's a sound edit. It just says these hormones will change a girl into a man.
where
Will
did you?
soon
How did
change
you
a girl
access
into a
that?
man.
Like, was that your own invention? Did you access that in archivally, like in archive?
Yeah, there's like online archives which have a bunch of public domain, mostly educational videos or like kind of like US like propaganda videos that they made for various a lot of industries, a lot of like educational like puberty videos, a lot of poultry industry things actually, agricultural. There's like a ton of these that are very like they all I actually spliced together two different ones, but all of them the narrators all sound the same in that era, so it's
Right.
actually pretty easy
Yeah,
to like splice different ones.
yeah.
And especially like with the like crackle in the background, I think it's especially easy to kind of match different things. I actually didn't even initially intend on going in that direction. I was just kind of playing around with the audio and like that was I think the first one. The some of these hormones will finally turn a girl into a man. Was one that I like played around with and I found out that actually like worked really smoothly. And then I started like trying to collect all these different clips of those and string them together for the start and the end of those. Um, which was a lot of it. A lot of working on this film was kind of just trying out different things and then going wherever that took me because I never had intended that initially. I don't know exactly what my intention was even anymore with the initial like my initial plan for the film, but I remember like that being a turning point where I was like, okay, this is something I could work with. This is something I could work into there and like pair with different things. Um,
Lear, how far back were some of these archives? Like what years?
I want to say like the 50s, maybe
Wow.
40s,
Wow.
50s or so.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really clever. Um,
Yeah, and that
Felipe,
monotone 1950s announcer voice, which
Mhm.
I would love to be able to imitate, but can't. And what struck me about that as well is there's a fixedness about that voice, and one of the um, like constant concerns that often pops up in a good number of films, and you're like playing with sound in interesting ways, is there's a kind of anticipation of fixedness for a cis voice that isn't true. Like it isn't real. It doesn't actually happen quite that way. If you close your eyes and you listen to a cis man, a cis woman, um, there is no fixity, but what pops up for us as people who belong to trans and queer communities is our voices offer us perception of gender or not, right? Offer a kind of um, suspicion for the perceiver, right? And that play with sound, that was like it was a really brilliant sort of like taste of one thing versus another. Very like lovely, really well done.
Mhm.
Mocha, I interrupted you. You were going to say something though.
well, yeah, I mean, I'm glad you continued because it was an interesting thing to add with the sound component of rotten fruit. But yeah, it was one of the things I wanted to ask Felipe about with Gabby is Gabby's involved in the fashion world, and she mentions that it's a space for queer and trans acceptance and expression. And I was just wondering, Felipe, are you also in the fashion world? Is that how you found Gabby?
No, actually, I'm a designer. I'm not I'm not even a movie maker or anything. But Gabby is actually a friend of mine since we were like 4 years old, maybe. I mean, I've known her for like my whole life, and we went to school together. She was 1 year older than me, but we always knew each other down the hallways and started to be more friends towards the end of high school. But she always, in a sense, inspired me a lot. And as being a cisgender gay man, watching Gabby on the school and the way that she dealt with everyone, including teachers and principals and everyone, it really inspired me and helped me deal with a lot of the questioning that I had growing up. Like she was all the time being called to the principal's office, and she just like, okay, and with the long hair, and she would, she wouldn't let
Wow.
anyone see her sweat, and that inspired me so much. So
Wow.
when I went towards my graduation project from university, and I had this idea of making a movie, I came to her directly because I think it would be really great. At the time that I started the project, she was starting her transitioning. So I thought it would be really nice to talk to her, make a movie about her, some sort of an homage for helping me throughout, I don't know, my life or something. And we're really good friends. We talk a lot, and we try to see each other amidst the pandemic whenever we can. But she's great. I just love her so much. I actually wanted to invite her here. Yeah, I was actually trying to see if we could speak in the same place wearing masks, but she lost her phone and everything. But
Oh no.
next time, yeah, and next time we'll do it. And she's great. I just really like her, and I always said to her that the best outcome from the movie would be if she liked it or not. And she loved it. And for me, that's like the greatest thing I could ever achieve with this project.
That's a beautiful background that you're actually true friends in real life. That
Yeah.
this is sort of this gift, the symbol of your friendship. And I love how congruent your relationships are within the larger LGBTQ rainbow community.
Hmm.
Oftentimes, in different communities and societies, we find that there's this horizontal hostility almost with different parts of our communities, be it the trans community, the gender nonconforming versus, say, the cisgender gays and lesbians. There's often this like conflict
Yeah.
even. So I love the way yours is so symbiotic and it just moves freely. And I think the essence is the friendship.
Yeah.
And I'll also say I'm drawing
Totally.
inspiration from Gabby because actually tomorrow, believe it or not, this is so weird. I'm hosting a spring fashion show at our local shopping mall here in
Oh,
Seattle at Westfield in front of Macy's.
Really?
I'm gonna need to draw some
Yes.
inspiration. So from
oh,
from Gabby, please tell her I will be thinking of her, on
of
that
course.
runway, and I'm gonna epitomize her beauty and her energy. And
Oh,
thanks for
that's
sharing her story to the world.
oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I mean, she's a great fashion designer. Great. I mean, her graduation project, she made a huge collection, a fashion collection of that talks about religion because she's also had a really long history with religion. I mean, a lot of people in Brazil kind of dwells within Catholic Church, and the
Mhm.
clothes is her clothes that she made sort of symbolize these things. There's a frame in the movie Gabby that she talks about how she sees the streets as some kind of catwalk and battlefield.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the clothes that she's wearing that I draw on her are the clothes that she designed herself. So I wanted to embody that on the movie as well
Oh,
because she's
nice.
brilliant. She's brilliant.
Wow. It's amazing that you're able to translate one thing into that, merge these two mediums and be able to offer us an image of who she is in these different modes. It was actually really poignant when she was talking precisely about these this sort of duality of this space, and it really struck me that when she was walking out and sort of testing the ground of safety, right,
Hmm.
walking
Yeah.
around and being able to own the space, with light trepidation at first, and then just owning it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
I just put in the chat, just wanted to acknowledge our audience. Thank you all for watching. And if folks have any questions or want to drop in some comments about any of the films that you've seen, if you've seen Rotten Fruit or Gabby, or two short films that we have our filmmakers here for, or any other film that you've seen in translation so far, we'd love to hear from you about, just share the love.
And put in your comments. We want to hear what you. Yeah, absolutely. Share the love. Put in like up, like up. You know what we need? We need a snap emoji. That's what we need. We do have the hands. We have the hands, but we need the snap.
Okay. I had to think for a second because it's like, wait, there's not a snap emoji?
I'm skeptical of that hand. It looks like it's raised the roof, but it also looks like whatever.
I know, right? Kind of does a little bit. It kind of does.
Oh,
Maria, thank you so much.
yeah.
Gabby is perfect. Yes.
Thank you, Maria.
Yes, yes.
I love that Gabby's like the Brian from Queer as Folk of the trans world now. that old show where Brian, like, set in Pittsburgh with the gay men, and Brian was just like the totally unapologetic queer, or gay man, really is a better term for him.
Yeah.
And I love that that Gabby is
that person.
Is that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alana. Hello, Alana. Good to see you. Good morning.
Yay.
Happy rising.
So, Coop, do you want to fill us in on what is happening, live events happening today? That people
No,
it's tomorrow. It's happening tomorrow. I'm thinking
they're like
never mind. I don't know what day it is.
Never mind.
You're on Brazil time. You're ahead.
So I can tell you about the live events for tomorrow and tell you about our guests for tomorrow. Woo woo.
Yeah, let's do it.
Woo woo. So we have Donato Futwesi and Logan Ellis. And oh my goodness, I don't want to get their names wrong. Let me get it right. Ah, I can't do it. I can. I will. And oh dear. Oh no, you're Lear.
And so for some time, and Naya from the programming team is
Naya from the programming team. So actually, the answer to your question, Mocha, is no.
Because you know what? It's a surprise, everybody. That's
there you go.
It's a surprise.
All they need to know is show up.
Be there.
Cinema's website, and specifically on the translations page. You don't want to just stick to one day. This is a series of special events.
It is. Yes. It is. Thanks for saying.
If I could just spill a little tea about tomorrow. I do think we maybe are going to be talking about a really great film series called Lego Harry Potter and the Transgender Witch, a parody adventure.
We could be talking about that. There's a rumor out there that perhaps there is a lovely series that is animated Lego piece that is a parody about Harry Potter. The first, actually, it goes through a couple of iterations, but the beginning and middle, we're going to show you little pieces from it, and have both Logan Ellis and Donato Futwesi, who are from that, she is actually the star of the show. We have Quincy, who plays the transgender witch, and who goes to Hogwarts. So suddenly Hogwarts becomes an entirely different space. And they have little adventures. It is absolutely, and apparently it's their first attempt at animation, and it really is this brilliant little series. I ended up like watching the whole thing and was addicted. Like, what's happening next? Come on.
Yeah.
Pandemic be damned.
It's going to be
So
amazing.
yeah, so we're going to have a little conversation with them, and later on in the evening, they're going to bring them back, have a little conversation about our wonderful QT BIPOC shorts, and we have the director for "To You, My Love" for a conversation, and boopity boop, I will let you know. Oh
Yeah, well,
yes,
check
Louise
out our
Sautran,
website at
Louise
$3
Sautran,
Bill
and Jasmine. I know
Cinema.
I got this one. Jasmine Smith and Olivia Gastaldo. Um, so looking forward to having a conversation with all of them. Um,
It'll
you
be
should check it
amazing.
out. You really do need to check it out. It's
Yeah.
going to be fun.
Yeah, so everybody check out the stuff on our website. And I want to say thanks to Felipe and Lear for being here with us today. Of course, Alexa. But Lear's, again, Rotten Fruit can be found in Genre Bending. Felipe's Gabby can be found in Fuck Fascism. And if you go to Alexa's website, you will see all of the stuff that she's all about. And yeah, as we like to usually sign off and just kind of turn it over if anyone has anything they want
Hey
to plug or any
Louise!
social media.
There's Louise Sautran. Louise, bienvenue. Bienvenue. Vous êtes ici. C'est plaisir de vous faire votre connaissance. Hello, hello.
Oh my gosh, Cooper, I didn't realize you spoke Filipino.
Tagalog is it? I'm Sia, girl. I am Sia. Okay. I told you I collect pronouns. What?
Oh my goodness.
Louise is francophone, so you have to greet within their own language, and I'm missing my francophone ness from Canada, where I'm born. And I just want to remind everyone that when you make a purchase, you have 72 hours to watch the films. So that means anytime you make a purchase, even if you make a purchase on Sunday, you still have 72 hours after the festival is officially over. It's never really over. So you have 72 hours to watch the films. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy.
Felipe, Lear, Alexa, do you want to say anything before we all say goodbye?
Sure thing. Well, first of all, gratitude to everyone in this virtual safe space. Thank you, merci, obrigado, salamat po. And I just want to invite everyone as we celebrate Asian Pacific Islander American History Month for the month of May. Pride Asia will be bringing to you on May 30th at 12 noon a free and all ages virtual celebration again of Pride Asia Fest. All the details are on prideasia.org. Follow us on social media at prideasia.org. We'll be celebrating Pride LGBTQ at API Pride through Pride Asia Fest. And we will be kicking off our traditional LGBTQ Pride Month, of course, in June. I look forward to seeing more projects from Lear and Felipe. You are so inspirational. Thank you for using the power of film and cinema to tell the stories of our people so that it may be chronicled and documented and shared with so much love and so much respect for all of us, for all humanity. Thank you for having me here, Cooper and MJ. You're both fabulous hosts. Thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day to our chosen mothers, the drag mothers. Thank you so much to Marsha P. Johnson, to Sylvia Herrera.
Yes.
Gracias. Thank you. Merci. Obrigado. Salamat po.
Oh,
So brilliant. Thank you,
yeah.
Felipe. Thank you so much for being here all the way from Brazil. What? You
I already
traveled
got my ticket.
time.
I got my
Man,
You
ticket.
traveled
Well, no
time
more
for
so
us.
talking.
tired. I'm so
Yeah.
tired from the trip. I'm just kidding. But thank you so much, everyone, for inviting me here. I mean, it was really nice, and thank you for the conversation. It was amazing. I think the festival is completely great, brilliant. I say to everyone, go watch it, go buy your tickets because it's really fantastic. Such amazing films. Thank you so much. Marco, Cooper, and Alexa and Lear. And good fashion show tomorrow as well. Alexa.
Yes.
Good luck on it.
Yes. And
And come to Brazil.
Lear,
Come
do you
to
have
Brazil.
any? Yes, I know. Maria's like, come to Brazil.
I already bought my tickets. While we were chatting, I was already online. I got 4 tickets for Lear, Cooper, MJ, and myself. So Felipe,
Yeah.
I don't discriminate. I also love your boyfriend. I haven't seen him, but I also equally love him. I do not discriminate. I just want you to know that.
Yeah. Please come everyone. Come everyone.
Alexa, I love your tea, girl. I love it.
Okay, I'll be quiet now and I'll just drink my tea over here.
Lear, do any final words to our audience before we head off for the rest of our day?
Not much, not off the top of my head.
Okay.
Just thank you all so much. So nice talking to everyone. So nice hearing everyone, seeing everyone's faces.
Your poetry, the poetry of your film is absolutely brilliant, Lear. Thank you so much for the
Yeah.
work you do. Thank you so much. It's really great. Brave souls, we travel off into our day. Peace be upon you all. Enjoy.
Bye
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.